Good morning. Well, this morning we're trying something a little different. The time has changed here, finally, in America, which means we are now back on our usual schedule. We're no longer 6 hours behind the UK and further parts of Europe. We are now 7 hours behind, which is what I consider normal. So we finally moved back, which means it's already dawn. So that's nice. And it's a little bit warmer, which is good. The other experiment we're trying is that we're doing live streaming, but we're also I'm doing some recording of this, and if it's tolerable or decent or the computer holds up, I'll try to stick it up on YouTube. I had a request to stick these archived up on YouTube. Certainly make the advertisements maybe a little more tolerable. The other thing is I've just moved the microphone a little bit further away from the computer, and we'll see if we catch a little bit less of the background noise of the computer fans. So if you hear some bumps and that sort of thing, and the sound seems a little bit weird, that's just because I moved the mics. We're doing some experiments this morning, which is good because it's Monday morning, and that's what it's for. This is the day before Doomsday here in America, so I hope everybody's looking forward to the entertainment and the fireworks tomorrow and for the rest of this week. It's going to be an interesting week. So, I'm going to pick up where I left off from on Friday. I've actually made a little bit more progress, which you might have seen. I finally tweeted out a picture of this scene that we have on screen here. This scene actually on Twitter. I tweeted it out, actually finished, which is a really nice thing. Finished sitting in Unity. But I wanted to kind of pick up where we left off because I felt really silly after seeing that I was just totally missing a very easy thing. So I was trying to get the trees imported into Unity, and I wasn't actually exporting from Cinema here. I wasn't actually exporting the trees, which are the highlighted bits here. I was just exporting their position, scale, and rotation, their PSR. And then and their names. And then I have a nice script, an editor script in Unity, which just takes that text file, and because all of these trees are prefabs, it just populates their position, scale, and rotation in Unity all in one fell swoop, which was a really nice thing to be able to do. So I copy these things out, and I have a script in Cinema which exports it as a text file. And if we look at the text file, it would look something like this. It's coming up. So this is grass, but the same thing works for the trees. So they have a code, whether they're a parent or a child, a P or C, and then it has the name of the object, and then it has their position, scale, and rotation in world coordinates. And so that little tiny text file, like this is 8 kilobytes. The one for the trees was like 3 or 4 kilobytes, so it was really small. Because that's the key data we need, and the model data itself is already in Unity. So I moved that into Unity, and pardon me, I should have prepped this before we began because it's going to take a minute here. And then I spent probably 10 or 15 minutes of stream Friday morning trying to get that script to open in the editor so that we could actually import those trees and populate the scene. And it wasn't working. I was being really silly, and if you were watching, you may have noticed. You may have noticed something that it took me a while to notice, and when I did, I felt silly. So let's give this a minute, literally a minute to load up. There are so many moving parts now in this project that it takes a long time to even load. I'm thinking about trying to rebuild this project from the ground up in terms of its structure so that I only have in here the things I need, because I now, after quite a long time of working on this game, I now have a good idea of the features I want to keep and the features I don't want to keep. And so I might just end up rebuilding the game, which I'll probably have to do one way or the other. When I rebuild the game, I would really like to rebuild it in Unity 2020 or 2021 if that's the time we get to. The problem is that the rendering system in anything past Unity 2019.2, which is what I'm currently using, is so different that essentially my key fundamental aspects of rendering simply don't work anymore. And I've got to figure out a way to make those work again. My shaders aren't working. I've got some really complicated shaders in here, and they're part of what's killing the performance of this game. So it might be a good thing anyway to try to rebuild that. But I've got this fancy cross-section shader, pardon me, and it requires 3 cameras, 2 render textures, and then requires a replacement shader as well, which is a 2-pass replacement shader, because it renders the back-facing polygons of every object first, and then it renders the front-facing polygons. Anyway, the whole thing ends up being vastly overcomplicated. So, this is it. This is the scene. There's a few things in this scene that aren't working, and I don't understand why. Shadow casting. Well, I guess maybe shadow casting is working. Yeah, I guess they are. I was thinking they weren't working, but those are the shadows, so I guess that's good. All sorts of things. But this is the scene. There's the wooden planks around the Iron Age well. Here's the Bronze Age burial mound, or the Neolithic round barrow. You can just see one of the curbstones, 2 of the curbstones popping up there, so that's exciting. We'll probably see those at a later date, a literal later date in the game. There's our roundhouses, here's our palisade, there's our big stone gatehouses, and this little rock was here in the Mesolithic. We're just seeing a piece of brush there. So I've actually got the trees in the scene now, and I've got the brush and the boulders, got the whole thing set up, and it's lovely. But let's turn off those trees, and then I'm going to show you re-importing those trees, just because I need to vindicate myself for looking so foolish. So if we just turn off the trees for a minute, let's pretend that we haven't done that yet. So I went over here to Window, and I went over here to Place Prefabs from Text, and then I was like, well, what's happening? There's nothing happening here. I was expecting a window to open up. Well, silly me, it's right here. I had docked it into the layout of the interface of Unity in this project because I need it to stay open while I select objects from the hierarchy and from the project and stuff like that. So it was right there staring me in the eye, and if you suffered through it on Friday with me, you probably noticed this too. And so it's right there, and the whole thing works beautifully once you actually figure out where things are. So if I go into my text assets and I grab the iron silver birch text file and I dump it in here, then it's asking for which prefabs are in this file. So I go to my prefabs here. Let's get rid of the my models part, and let's go into my prefabs. That's a noisy truck. Sorry for that. Okay, so I have the silver birch 1 and 2. So anyway, I'm just going to drag all these prefabs that I know are in the file. 3, 4. I could probably multi-select this, but we're almost done. The dead one. It's always good to have a dead tree in, and it's always good to have a young tree in. It seems to me it is. And then all you do is you hit this big Create Prefabs button, and it makes our trees. Now you'll notice that the trees are not quite in the right place. They're in the right clusters, but not the right place. But they live inside, under their own game object, a null game object here. They're called Iron Age Birch clones in this case, because there's already an Iron Age Birch file. Iron Age Birch clones. Actually, that's not true. It's called Iron Age Birch clones in the text file, so that's what they are. So if we just give this a 180-degree spin, and this has to do with the way that Cinema 4D version 19 exports FBXs, which it exports all the geometry turned 180 degrees, which is a little bit silly. It exports all of that, and there we go. There's the trees. Done. So it was really not very hard. I'm going to delete that one because we don't need to worry about it. So, because I already have it. So there's an LOD system, level of details, automatic LODing system on this, which fades based on camera distance from the object between the full 3D object and an imposters version. I've got the Amplify Imposters plugin in this, which is a really, really nice plugin. The only issue I'm getting is some lighting on the back side. I've turned off the LOD system, actually, and then the bushes here, all this brush around here, there's something wrong with the lighting as well on the back side, and it's really harshly black instead of kind of colored. I need to figure that out. These are really old models in the brush here. Yeah, you see how it's doing weird stuff? I need to figure out what's going on with that. This is also happening on the back sides of the trees, so I need to kind of figure out what's going on there. And it may have to do with the imposters system, but I turned all of that off, which means it's computationally super inefficient. Same thing's going on for the grass tufts. I have these little grass tufts just to provide some visual difference in the scene. And again, they're all shading wrong, and I suspect this is because what happens is I place these prefabs in the scene, and then when the scene runs, all the prefabs get replaced by Amplify Imposter instances, I think, or GPU instances. I can't remember. Anyway, it's doing a little bit of both. I've got the imposters and the instancing system on here going at the same time. It's definitely something I need to iron out. But all of this preamble is just getting me to the part of the conversation I'd like us to have today, which is I need to get all my different layers of time working. So again, if you were on Twitter or Instagram now, I'm A. Massington on Instagram, if you're at all interested. I'm trying to do 2 social medias, and it's hard to keep up with. But anyway, the main thing I want to get to is that I'm trying to import all of my styles and periods at once into the project. And then I'm trying to get the time travel mechanic working. Not the mechanic, I'm trying to actually just get the scripts and the architecture, the software architecture working for the time travel experience in this game. And so I'm going to start there. So I've actually turned off all of the parish church building exercises, and I want to start here with all of these assets, the landscape assets, the individual archaeology assets. I have it for the Mesolithic period, now I have it for the Iron Age period. This morning I want to finish bringing in the Roman period. By the way, another thing I've added to the Roman period is I finished all of the green topsoil for the Roman period. It was really quick to do, so I just went ahead and did that. And I want to get in the Neolithic period. And I have a few little additions to the medieval period, and that'll be sort of 3 or 4 periods to try to cycle through. And then I have to organize this based on each tile. So there's 20 individual tiles here in the scene, and I want to organize the whole thing so that every tile has all of the models for every period that this tile exists stacked into it. And then I need to do some kind of heavy lifting with the code to get everything working correctly. So the goal for today is to get the Roman period into the project, which shouldn't be too difficult. And then when that's done, try to get other periods, and we'll just keep going. We're just trying to get assets into the project. This is almost a literal vertical slice of the whole game. And then once we get all of those assets in, try to kind of short circuit the main play of the game to just work on the time travel part itself. So there's a lot to do, and the time travel has always been kind of the weakest thing from a code perspective to work on. So that's what we're going to work on. So we've got the Mesolithic period in, we've got the Iron Age period, I've got the Roman file all queued up. So we can go ahead and get rid of all of this Iron Age stuff, and I may dump all of these in their own. So here's another problem, is that I want to kind of work on a per tile basis, at least for each block of landscape. So I've got to figure out a way to structure this in the hierarchy here as well. So anyway, lots of fun stuff to work on. So I'm going to get rid of these. Goodbye archaeology. We've just left with landscape with, you know, archaeology. There's big ramparts and things in there. Get rid of all of this. So we're just left with the base. There's the little Iron Age village. There's the other little hut up there. There's our ditch around the barrow, and there's our water source, which is kind of the anchor point for this whole period. There's our landscape. So I need to bring the Roman in. Here comes the Roman fill. Actually, I need to bring in the Iron Age fill as well, because that stays in this period. So iron fill. There's our Iron Age ring works. And do I have the Roman topsoil? I don't have the Roman topsoil imported. So let's go in and grab that Roman topsoil. We don't need to model anything. I tidied that up yesterday. So let's get rid of this file. We don't need it now. This was just for illustration purposes. Here's the Roman file, and here's just the Roman topsoil. So we've done it. We've got just the topsoil made. And it was really easy. And it's been leading me towards thinking of some efficiencies for doing this, because we've got an entire island of this type of detail to work on. So I was thinking over the weekend of some efficiencies to help this project, the asset creation in this project, go a little bit faster. Okay, so this is on its own. I'm not worried that it's not actually showing up green, but it's an easy fix to just make it show up. There we go. So I just had to drag the vertex colors into the vertex color slot on the material. So there it is. It's all divided up into its proper tile numbers. So that's great. Let's just export this. And this one is an export of the geometry itself. It is not an export of just nulls, obviously, because each one of these is individually unique. It's not, what do I want to say? It's not a prefab. Whew. It's Monday morning, isn't it? Oh, it's not the Iron Age. We're not in the Iron Age anymore. We're in the Roman period. So Roman topsoil. So I don't know why I had Roman topsoil in there before. I guess I had one that wasn't finished. But this is finished. Okay, so we're going to export it. There it goes. And let's import this so everybody gets to look at my file system. Enjoy. Let's go in here and find our file. There it is. It's only 0.5 MB, so that's good. Copy that one. Go into here. It's really a joy to get back into this project, even though so much of it is in such kind of wobbly shape. I think that's always the way when you're still in this stage of the work. But it's been a joy to get back to thinking about things this way. Oh, I guess I already put it in. That's why it's already in. Oh well. Do you want to replace that with the newer one? You bet. Okay. Just so that we can carry the whole process through. Yep, so it's been imported. Let's get rid of my prefabs here. Let's go into my models. Go into the landscape folder. The Roman folder within that, the Roman topsoil. ASE vert color box clip dither, that is correct. The model itself, everything's all been set up correctly here, so, because it must remember. Look at that, it's weird. So there's a problem with this geometry I'm remembering from yesterday. And I don't know what it is. There's a vertex that doesn't have, it's like an unreferenced vertex somewhere. So there might be a little bit of problem when we bring the Roman topsoil in. But let's see. So the Roman topsoil was already in place. So there we go. So that's our Roman base. We can see that the Romans have cleared off that old pesky old Iron Age barrow, and they've used it to fill in on this side. And that's because the Romans must be time traveling themselves and can anticipate that we'll need a little platform here because there's going to be a parish church tower built and the rubble's going to collapse and we don't want to build a new platform. That's probably what's happened. Is the Romans are making a platform for the church that is to replace them, right? No, that's not what you're supposed to be thinking. Okay. So we need to actually put some Roman things on top of here now. So we're going to bring in the Roman temple. And actually, the Roman temple might be in place, but it may be in the wrong place. So we may need to move this around a little bit, and it might be best to just export it again. Let's take a look. The problem is I'm not sure the Roman little temple is, not the temple tomb, which is going to sit right here. I'm not actually sure if it is colored in my version in Cinema, and the coloring of this was a pain. So let me just dig through this hierarchy here to see if I can find my Roman temple. Sometimes I hide things from myself. Parish church lighting, bushes, grass. This is all the mezzo stuff. The Shigir idol. Temple tomb. Let's turn this on. Oh, look at that. There's the parish church all at once. We're not really looking for that. And we're not looking for this. And we're not looking for the soils either this time around. Instead, we're just looking for our temple tomb. Yeah, that's in the wrong place. It's also a little bit the wrong size. But it's colored. So we may use it as a guide and then we'll color it up. Yeah, it's the wrong size. Also facing the wrong direction, I think. So let's go back into our file in Cinema and see what we've got going on here. So we don't need this one anymore. That was just scratch. And I can turn off, well, I guess I can leave all of this on. Roman dirt tiles, they can go back on just to help us figure stuff out. The Iron Age stuff can go back on. Alright, we've got everything back on that we need. There we go, that's what we needed. Okay, so that's where we're at in Unity as well. So let's start putting some things back on. So here comes the temple tomb. See, it isn't colored, but it is sitting in the right place. So we should probably find a way to come up with our vert colors again. Oh, look at that. It is colored, but everything's been switched to the wrong type of coloration. Nice. Not points only, polygon points. Let's see if we apply just trying to see if we apply this to it, are we going to get the correct vertex coloring? I have a feeling we won't. I don't think that's supposed to be white. Let's find out. Let's stick this material on everything. We might have to color up this temple because I think it's mostly just the wrong color. Yeah. Okay, that's the wrong color. There it is. Just a little temple tomb actually, but I made it a little bit bigger than the one that you saw imported into the scene earlier. So we need to color this before we bring it in. Okay, I might have a vert colors list because I can't remember all the different colors I was using. What a surprise. So let's see if we've got a vert colors list. So we're going to hop out of here, go into my Finder. We're going to search for res vert colors list, but this is really old. Well, this goes back to June of this year, so maybe we're okay. The tower walls, cushion cap, flags, base soil, topsoil, floors, ground, silver birch bushes, cattails colors, bone shroud, thatch. There's all sorts of stuff in here, but do we have kind of terracotta color? Don't think I got a terracotta color. Let's find out. Let's go find it. Okay, you can stop looking for that, because we found you. So that was my cheat sheet here. Let's go back into the game, back into the temple tomb, and try to figure out the color of the roof. The color of the roof is this color. 214, 84, 45. Everybody remember that. 214, 84, 85, 45. 214. Yeah, I'm not seeing any 214s in this, so terracotta temple tomb roof. 214, 84, 45. There we go. Got that color in. What other colors are there? What other colors are we missing? It's a cute little, this was a really cute little scene. I think I tweeted this one out many moons ago. It's got a light in it and everything. How neat and spooky. Did I need the ridgepole and the purlins all separate objects? I guess I felt I did. Did I need the gable dentals? I don't really think I needed those all separate, but I guess I thought I did. On the pillar, Corinthian capital is colored, I guess it's given kind of the lead color. So I don't need any other color. So I gave just looking here to just make sure what I've got here. So I have a lighter color for the shaft base. That's just going to be my regular stone color. The plinth is a kind of darker lead color. It's the same color as the Corinthian caps. Yep, the dentals, everything else is just this light stone. Gable ends. Just checking, just looking at the colors right here. This little script, the vertex color adjust script, is such a workhorse for me. I love this one. It really does allow me to do quite a lot of work on the fly in Unity. The problem is that it's also really, really heavy. And it's been causing trouble for me. So I'm going to have to rebuild that script so that it's not so, it just continually takes up kind of processor time. And I need to fix that. I've used it in so many projects, but a project this big is starting to become an issue. The grave cover is a darker color. Okay, so that's a darker gray color. What is that dark gray color? 91, 81, 75. Just take a look here. '81, 81, 75. Huh, I don't even have that in there. 91, 81, 75. Okay. Oh. Black stone, temple, tomb, slab, 91, 81, 75. Okay. So we'll keep that as well. Okay, so that's my little crib sheet. It's nice to see that in there. It's nice to see there's that little light inside. We might remove that light. I put the light in because otherwise all this detail just disappears in the game. Not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, my sky only works from one side. Okay. It's another thing I got to work on. That's a computationally intensive part of the game as well. Okay, so should I color the roof right now? Yeah, let's just do all the colors right here. Then I don't have to do it in Unity. Okay. So the roof color is going to be, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to stick this over here. You're not going to see that. That is off your screen. Alright, it's going to be an RGB color because I like RGB. That's what I understand. Your color space of choice may vary. Whoops. 214, 84, 45. Okay, that's my terracotta color. And we'll apply it to everything on the roof. So that's done. Okay, so the ridge pole is going to be my wood color. So let's go find my wood color. I'm just scrolling through my colors here. Walls, cushion cap, broken flags, base soil, topsoil, tower floors, timber. There we go. Okay, so the ridge pole you can't see, but when you section through the building, you certainly can see it. Let's see. 166. 101. Nope, 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 nope. 129. Little eye skip going on there. And 92. And there's my wood color. Okay, so we're going to hit that. We're going to apply it to all. Very good. The purlin is going to get the same color, so apply to all. The purlin mirror, the purlin itself, apply to all. The wall plate is also timber, so it gets our timber color. Both wall plates do. Again, I'm not quite sure why I decided to make them all different game objects. Seems a little inefficient. Okay, the gable dentils are all going to be my regular stone color, which is almost gray, which is a 195, 190, and a 177. So apply that to all of those. Apply that to all those, and the gable ends, whoops, the gable ends also get it, and the dentils are going to get it, and the pillar shaft base is going to get it. It's all the same stone, partially because I'm lazy, I guess. The walls are going to get the same color, but the plinth is not. The plinth is going to get my darker color, which is kind of my flag's broken color, I guess. Let's see what that color is. It is darker already. It is 142. I'll tell you why I go through all of this color stuff in a minute. 142, 128, and 119. Plinth is darker, and then these Corinthian capitals are going to be the same color. That's weird. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. Why does it keep doing that? Stop it. Oh, it's because I have this one selected. Okay, silly me. There we go. This one is also selected now. Okay, so there's just the grave cover left to do. And it's that really dark color, which was my 91, oops, 81, 75. Okay, there we go. that temple tomb is recolored now. Now let's extract it. Put it in its own place. There you go, lovely. Beautiful little thing. Thank God for photogrammetry, huh? Corinthian capitals. Never had to model one by hand myself. No, I did have to model one by hand. That's not true. The St. Stephen's project, I modeled one by hand. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It didn't look that nice either, but that's okay. It did its job. It's on display in the Houses of Parliament right now. FBX exports. We're going to go make a new file here, new folder. I'm going to call it, what are we going to call it? Buildings, etc. And in this one, we're going to make one called Roman. We're going to call this Roman Temple. I'm going to call it ROM, I think, because I've been calling everything Roman ROM. Temple, tomb, we're going to call it big. Okay, it's going to ask me how to export this, so I've exported that guy. And we're going to keep exporting things from Cinema, I think. Okay, so that's done. So Temple Tomb's done. Let's go grab the Roman well. Nope, not the Roman tombstones, the Roman well. That's all one piece. It doesn't even have vert colors stuck onto it. Great. Let's grab both of these. Stick them down on the well. The well's stones are going to be the same kind of darker color that the plinth is, are they? I think I actually made them the same generic stone color because they're spolia from somewhere. The phasing on this site doesn't work very well in my mind yet, and so I had them as spolia from this tomb, but this needs to stand for quite a while, so then I had them as spolia from the temple, but then I want the temple and this temple tomb and the well to all stand together, so I might abandon that idea entirely. Okay, instead of having to enter the numbers again, I'm just going to go down to constant shading. I'm going to grab my color eyedropper, grab that color. That is the correct color. And I'm going to apply it to all. There we go. That was quicker. Okay, this is the kind of Untitled Goose Game coloring system here where there's no shading, just pure colors. Okay, so the well is now done. The well is a lovely feature. This is the well. Oh, come on, be nice. Be nice to me. Always forgets its vertex mapping. But there's the well. Look at that. Unnecessarily complex piece of geometry. It's beautiful. Look at that. The end of the well is really fascinating. This is actually based on a real Roman well that was dug up in East Heslington in Yorkshire. And I was on this dig. I did not dig this well. I do not have that kind of digging talent. But it's really fun to see it become exposed, and that's been published recently if you're interested. It's got all sorts of interesting stuff found in the fill of the well, including dog bones, and dog bones in Roman wells, as I was discovering much earlier this year, is kind of a thing. And in fact, there were statues of dogs thrown down a well at a temple to the Romano-Celtic god Nudens, who's also identified with Mercury sometimes. And it seems like it has to do with healing, but also with capping off a well, and maybe keeping the spirit of the well in place, because there would be a very minor genius loci kind of deity. All of this I learned from Romanists on Twitter, so fantastic place for getting your historical and prehistorical questions answered. Okay, let's export this guy. Okay, so Roman well. Yep, we want to export all of that. Those settings are fine. Okay, so we can put that away. The next thing I want to do is grab the Roman tombstones and the whole temple. So that is a copy of that temple to Nodens / Mercury. I've got a nice floor in there and everything. They've only found the foundations of this on the site, and there's a lot of auxiliary buildings around it. This building is actually part of a big kind of courtyard complex of buildings that I have not built in this version of the model. I'm not exactly sure how this temple tomb is going to, this isn't a temple tomb, how this temple is going to play with the rest of the project. So here are my Roman tombstones, which is great. Okay, so I've got the temple itself. It was just cool that it was a little octagonal temple. It's very Romano-British. These kind of these Romano-British temples had an outer kind of aisle and then an inner sanctum, and they were either kind of square, almost cubic, or a few of them have been found, maybe only one have been found octagonally. This is from Pagan's Hill in Gloucestershire, which is also where the really cute little dog statues thrown down the sacred well there were found. Really lovely things. I just thought they were too good not to include in the game here, even though I'm not quite sure what part they play in the game. So, anyway, as you can tell, I'm not quite sure about this whole Roman period on the site, but I thought I'd put it on here anyway. Alright, let's go sticks. Let's go make these gravestones have some coloration to them. So, I'm just going to grab the color map and the file, or the material from them. And the Roman sarcophagi are going to start getting colored up here. So I've got 3 different types of Roman grave marker. Despite having lived very, very close to a Roman cemetery for many, many years, I still have very little idea on what they actually looked like in reality. And I've dug up a bunch of archaeological reports on them. Any Romanists out there, please get in touch with me and tell me how a kind of very provincial Roman graveyard might be laid out. Okay, so I've got my 3 different types. I've got an altar tomb, I've got a sarcophagus, and I've got a little stele. 3 different types of tomb, which is really nice. Let's see, the sarcophagus is going to, some of them are going to be made out of this color stone, and some of them are going to be made out of this color stone. So let's make an altar tombstone, that one. It's going to be made out of that color of stone. This stele in the back, I think, will be made out of that color of stone as well. Maybe there's another altar tombstone. Maybe all the altar tombstones are going to be made out of this kind of lighter colored limestone. And this sarcophagus lid will be made out of this lighter colored stone. Very nice. Okay, now let's see. I think everything else is going to be the darker stone. So let's see, that is an altar stone. Let's grab our color selector, apply it to the top there. Ooh, I do like a 2-colored. The 2-tone is pretty nice. Roman stele number 2 is going to get that color. Roman stele number 1, where are you? Oh, we've already colored you. This sarcophagus box, and lid, you're both going to be the same color. It's kind of fun. It's like a coloring book. This Roman stele is going to be that color. That altar tombstone's fine. The sarcophagus lid is going to be the regular color, but the box is going to be that stone. Very nice. So I've got to go back now and grab this regular stone color. Apply to all, and then, is it this box? Yeah, this box needs to have this applied as well. Even though it looked like it was already applied, it wasn't. It was using a different vertex map, and that'll cause trouble on import. Okay, so I have this jolly multi-geology, multi-period graveyard and everything all at once here, which is nice. But I think I'm going to separate the tombstones from the octagonal temple. Let's go grab those tombstones. I should probably make them prefabs because they're repeated, but life's short. I'm not going to bother coloring these again because their vertex colors are baked in and they're just not displaying here. So let's just export this bunch right now. Cemetery. I need some skeletons, don't I? I'll find them. Don't worry, I've got some skeletons. Maybe we'll put skeletons in on Wednesday. I know it's no longer Halloween. We can still have spooky skeletons. Let's go grab the temple now. I think I might have already put the temple in once before, and it looks nice close up, but it does not look that impressive far away. Oh well, such is life. Export that. Okay. That might be the entire Roman site. I don't have any vegetation on the site right now. And I don't think I'm going to paint the vegetation in right now anyway. I might move back to the Neolithic period and get the kind of new version of the barrow in place instead before we end the stream today. So let's just import these things. Oops, what was I getting rid of? I don't know what I just got rid of at that point. All right. Let's go find them. Here it is. I'm just going to grab the whole Roman bucket. And I'm going to dump this. Landscapes. Do I just have a Roman folder? I may not even have a Roman folder in here. At which point I'm going to fix that. So let's make a new folder. Oops. No, not that. New folder. We're going to call it. What did we call it before? Instead of landscapes, we called it buildings, etc. We're going to paste that Roman one right in there. Good. I guess I left everything in there for the Iron Age. Oh well. Okay. Now we've just got to set the correct settings on this. So, figures. So many things in here. I've really got to organize things better. There's my cemetery. Let's do all of these at once because we can do all of these at one time. So all of these buttons get turned off. That one gets turned on. We turn this to calculate. Angle weighted. From angle, and we have a 0 angle, and we apply it. Okay. And then each one of these individually, I have to remap the materials. But they're all going to have the same material at this point. That may change at a later point, but we can do that. So there's those. Here comes the temple. Yeah, this one's going to have trouble. Oh, I wonder if I had a bunch of UVs. No, there's no UVs. That's good. So sometimes I import models that have kind of auto UVs built for them already, and that's bad because, like I said, I use UVs for something entirely different in the game other than texture mapping. And what that usually does is then just messes everything up. Here's my Roman well. So we'll have to do a little bit of work here, but it'll be fun. Okay, all of those objects are now properly imported into the project, and now we need to stick them in the hierarchy. So let's go put our well where it belongs, which is right where our little Roman temple is standing. So let's get rid of our little Roman temple right now. Goodbye. So our well is right there. So if we bring our well in, stick it somewhere around here, in with the other Roman stuff. So Roman well. Hey, there it is. That might even be the right color. Good. Now let's bring in the cemetery. Those are the right color again. That's great. Everything's coming in the correct place. That's really nice. Let's bring in our octagonal temple. That is very much wrong. Okay, we'll fix that. So what I need to do is I need to just load in my vertex color adjust script. And all I need to do is just load it in once, and it's going to take a minute. Okay, now it's in place. Now the colors are fine. Then what I can do is I can actually delete this script. If I don't feel I need it, I can just delete the script and the colors should stay. See, they've all stayed. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, well there's our, that's cute. That's not too bad. I don't mind that too much. So that's right on where the Bronze Age mound was, and I need to leave some of the curbstones in place around here. I'll actually see where they sit, because essentially these curbstones get recycled over and over again, and they're like cup and ring stones and things like that. You know, megalithic art, which is an Irish thing, not so much a British thing, but we've got it in Britain too. Okay, and the temple tomb. The temple tomb needs to come in the right place, but I bet its coloring is all going to be messed up. Yep. So let's apply our coloring to everything again. So we're just going to add this component. There we go. It's colored them fine, and then I'm going to remove this component because, like I said, this one is really intensive. So the whole Roman site is now in place. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, not too bad at all. What's it look like in the game? Yeah, it's cute. So I do need to get some sort of vegetation in here, though. I really do need to put some trees. It's at this point that I was thinking about planting a little yew tree that would, but I haven't created the yew tree yet because it looks really difficult to model, and I'm just starting to learn how to model trees. But anyway, this is looking okay. I need to do something, like put big posts in here for gate posts to the cemetery, and some of that kind of material. So I need to really work on that, but there's our well. Beautiful. Not bad. Okay, we still have a few minutes left, so I'm going to go grab that Neolithic / Bronze Age burial mound and the rest of its landscape. I think, do I have that done? I may not have the topsoil done for that one, but at least the mound I'm going to put in here. Oh yes, I was going to see where those curbstones lay. Let's go see where the mound is. There it is. So this is the spread out version. If we get rid of everything except the curbstones, I want to see where they stand. So you can't even see the curbstones, and that, from my perspective, is a good idea, because I want them to kind of, a few of them, well, there's a few of them sticking out, but I want them to kind of remain as part of the site, because they're going to wind up in the medieval church as part of the rubble, which will be part of your clue, because you start with the medieval church rather than anything else. And you're going to uncover like cup and ring stones, you're going to uncover reused Roman tombstones, you're going to uncover a capital from here, and these are all going to give you clues that there is something else going on the site. Deeper depth of time. Oh man, I've got to get in. I have a whole Viking Age period. Pardon me. Got a whole Anglo-Saxon / Viking Age period church to import here. There's a lot of stuff to go still. And I think I might have a medieval landscape, which kind of pushes this dirt out a little bit more too. So that's all stuff we can explore this week as we try to just get all these assets in place. Oh yes, I think my medieval landscape fills in the holes here where the Iron Age houses used to be. So, I've got to put in some vegetation now. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave some trees or not. I may let this become like a wooded feature. We'll see, and then, that disappears later on. Who knows? It'll be a little bit of fun. Let's go see if we can go get the Neolithic period stuck into the game now. But there's our Roman period, more or less. That's not bad. I mean, I think maybe never ever has a Roman settlement in Britain ever looked this way. If you're a Romanist, please get in touch. I'd love to be able to put this together in a little bit better way. But anyway, it has the things I'm kind of interested in. A ceremonial site. Outside the settlement. The settlement's down this road. Way, way, way down here. Okay. Let's go see if we can find our Neolithic period. So we do want to save our changes to this file. All right. Not that folder. It's fun to put these things in. It's very satisfying to see them actually get into the game. It's really nice. And I might actually have something for Screenshot Saturday on Screenshot Saturday this week. That'd be nice. Okay, not there. Okay, so I have an Iron Age landscape with houses. I don't think that has the original. There's our medieval landscape. There's an oak tree I've been building. There's a hedge. Oh yeah, I've got a hedge in the medieval landscape. Octagonal temple, Roman monuments. Iron Age landscape, Barrow Rocks volume, Meso-Roman landscape. This all goes back to May, so you can see why I've forgotten everything. And then this is the Mesolithic site, going all the way down here. So what is this site? Let's figure this one out. I don't know, but there is no barrow in this site. What even is this? That's our Meso landscape. Oh, okay. Doesn't really seem to me to be our Meso landscape. That's our Meso landscape. Right there. These must just be experiments. Oh, in fact, they probably are. That's probably our Roman. Yeah. Okay, so we don't want that file. What file do we want? This is just the barrow. I know I've got... There's the Iron Age. Yep, I know I've got one that actually has just the Bronze Age landscape with the barrow in place. Let's go check out what this one was. From May. Iron Age, Roman. Neo-landscape. Let's look at this one. Okay, that's looking good. That's the foundations of the parish church, obviously. I'm just using that as my kind of fixed point for modeling the rest of the landscape around it. Okay. There's our meso dirt, there's our neo dirt. Alright. This is looking convincing. Yeah. Okay, that is convincing. Where's the rest of... Where's my little barrow? Go back to the game here. It's always fun to try to reconstruct where you have been. Let's get rid of all of these. Just look at the dirt here. So I've got the well sunk in there on this base. Yeah, I just need the Neo base in now. Without that. And does this one not have that? Let's get rid of our foundations here. And let's get rid of our topsoil. Yeah, it doesn't have the hole. Yep, this is the one we want. It does need some modeling done. Okay, let's go find our barrow. That's the Iron Age topsoil, Iron Roman topsoil. There's the barrow. Let's open this old one up again. I thought I didn't have the... So I have two versions of the barrow, one where it's all kind of mushed down and it's fallen apart, and one where it's kind of like pristine and new. And I don't know where that model is for the new one now. So I'm looking to see if it's embedded in this gigantic file. So there's the round barrow spread out original. That doesn't really look like it. And this is the same version, but just with the polygons instead of all the procedural cloners and randomizers and stuff. Bushes, boulders, big roundhouse, small roundhouse. What's in the holding? Nope, none of that. Okay. Well. So it's not in that one. Where I'm at with the medieval landscape there. There's my sort of hedge creature. There's the temple. There's my originals of the Roman monuments. What's this one? Okay, we were already in the landscapes. Iron topsoil, Iron Roman topsoils. You can see I was doing a lot of this kind of work. Well, this one looks like the most convincing to be my barrow. Oh yeah, that barrow is much... Because Okay, so that's the original kind of shape of it. There's the cage. Surface and volume are there, but I need the dirt. And I need my curbstones. Somewhere I've got all of this stuff. It's frustrating. Frustrating to have to go search this out. Well, that gives me a good idea about where the state of my project is right now. I'm going to keep digging around in my files here, and we'll see if I can find a more complete barrow, kind of original barrow, and I can see if I can find a more complete kind of Neolithic landscape to go with it. And then we'll hopefully have that queued up and ready for Wednesday. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now in the game. So many things to put in here still, which is really good. Put my Iron Age fill back in as well. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Pretty good progress. At least we got the Roman period in, and I got a better idea of reminding myself what all had to go in. There is so much more to go in, is the answer. And that only gets us up to, like, maybe I have this modeled up to the end of the Middle Ages, but there's still a few centuries to go. But that's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I don't mind that. I gotta figure out a better way to navigate my scene. But, yeah, look at that. Not bad. I like that. So I'll need to put some, I think I'll put some bushes and things down here where the Iron Age settlement was. I think I might, you know, eventually I'm going to try to model a yew tree. That sounds like a challenge, but I think I'm going to do some mixed forest in here. I think I am going to let this be kind of a wooded site. So I'm going to grow up a nice, good birch and oak forest around here, because I think I have my oak trees mostly done. I think I've got 3 versions of an oak tree. So those are some things that we'll put in eventually. But for now, this is what we've got. And that's not too bad. Not too bad. I don't mind this. Yeah. Well, let's see. Can we go inside? Look, see, that's the inside. Ooh, that's hard. See, that's the inside of the temple. There's all sorts of detail in there. Let's go back up again. I've really got to figure out how to navigate. This was supposed to be easier. Anyway, yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. So I'll leave you with that view up the road to the hill. There we go. All right, everybody. So we've made progress, I feel, again today. And hopefully, if this recording has worked as well, we'll see that up on YouTube. And I'll post a link to that if I get that up. So lots of experiments today. Thank you so much for bearing with me. And we'll see you on Wednesday morning when I'll have more of this in shape and we'll just keep with the process. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.